Hello, my name is Katie and welcome to my shed. Not very comfortable. How are you all doing? It's been a funny old week this week. I feel like I haven't spoken too much, so I'm quite excited to speak to you today. It's been a bit of a week of doing chores and, trying to get some gardening done. I feel like I talked to you a lot about gardening. My gardening, it's not massive, but it's fairly big and there's a lot of plants. And this time of year it means a lot of weeding, and I have been a bit slack on the weeding front through the year. Therefore, now we're at a point where it's quite sad looking. So I'm doing like a few hours a day where I can, but it means less time with you. I don't think I've got anything exciting to say. I finished framing up the peregrine. I don't know if that was on the last video or not. I think it might have been. And what else have I done? Not a lot, actually. Yeah, sorry, that's really dull. Boring intro. Been at work a lot. Been a bit boring. The sun is shining. We're in the dark as usual. But there are some exciting plans afoot for a new studio. So I'll tell you about that probably on another video, because I think I'll do a whole video about it. If you remember, I've been having a lot of trouble with uploading videos from the new camera and mixing them with videos of my phone. And last week it worked. I don't know what was different, but it worked. So I'm hoping it will work this week. Who knows? I might be in here at 3 in the morning crying at you again. I wasn't crying, but it wasn't far off it. I felt like crying. So yeah, let's see what's changed. And I have got a new adapter, so I'm hoping I'll be able to film everything on new rather than use swapping between the phone, because I couldn't do over the top shots on you, but we might be able to do that today, so that's exciting for me because it'll make life a lot easier. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing today, and it might be a little bit boring to watch, but it's something I've been putting off and I need to do it, which is I've decided I don't own a lot of watercolours because I've only really started using them this year. So maybe I do own a lot for someone who's only just started using them this year. But what I want to do is sort them into colour palettes. And we've touched on this before, but I was watching somebody the other day, and I don't know who it was. I was watching someone the other day, if I can remember who it was, I'll pop their name on here. And they have their palettes, their colours laid out, their palettes laid out in colours rather than in sets. So all their yellows are together, their blues are together. I mean, you know what colour is. I probably don't need to explain that to you. But that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to re-swatch them out, because the other thing that I need to do is work out which are warm and which are cool. That is something that I struggle with. And I don't think I'm colourblind, but I still really struggle with knowing which are warm and which are cool. And somebody suggested swatching them all out and then I'll be able to work it out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I need to clean them up a little bit, because if you've seen my palettes before, my colours are disgusting. So I'm not going to get the true colours if if my yellow is actually green. So I'm going to clean them out and then I'm going to re-swatch them by colour, and then hopefully I'll sort my palettes out by colour as well. Does that make sense? That's what we're going to do, and I think it will be quite a relaxing one to watch. I don't have any plans to create a painting today, but let's see how it goes time wise, and I think I'm going to struggle with this, so you'll probably all be shouting at the camera. What I'm going to do now is try and turn you around using my new bracket and you, so we can all see each other. No, I can't see you. Anyway, let's do that. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but let's give it a go. So first thing I want to do is clean up my palette. So, goodness me. Let's get a scrap of paper, some kitchen roll, and have a scrub. I mean, it's disgusting. Sorry. might have to do one, and then if it looks awful, we will... I'll go back to my phone. So we're going to start with the Winsor Newton Raw Sienna. I do not have this in a pan yet. I might do actually my little plein air one, but... And I maybe should have put this with the naturals, like earth tones. But I haven't, I'll put it here. So... yes, so up until about a year ago I wasn't doing any watercolour, maybe just over a year ago. I just had a couple of paints which I was using for underpainting with pencils over the top. We'll put the ochres in with this. So that's the Winsor Newton Sienna. Right, what's next? The Winsor Newton Quin Gold. I don't even know if I can open this. Yep, just about. What I will do is buy some pans, maybe some half pans, so that I can put these in my palette. Rosa Quin Gold, which we've already established. If you're new here, hello. I bought this one recently, and we established it's not really what I was expecting, but it is a nice colour. Right, shout at me if I'm wrong, but is the only cool one that one, and the rest of them are war? I think I'm right. What I'm going to do is make some little cards to go in my palette as well. I don't know if I'll do that afterwards or as we go. I probably should do it as we go, actually. So let me draw those up in the right size so that we can put them in the palettes. That's the other thing I've seen people do, which seems like a very clever idea. What colour set should we do next? Should we do greens? I haven't got lots of them, so let's do some greens. We'll write those out, and I might put the mint with... see, that's more of a blue, isn't it? But I don't actually know what this colour is. Is it cobalt blue? Let's go back. Cobalt turquoise. I'm going to put the turquoise with the greens, or I might put all the blues and greens together. Let's see, what have we got? We've got no greens there, got a couple of greens over here, so they're both... So I'm going to have to turn you on an angle because I can't write. What have we got? We've got emerald green and green. I'm sure that has a different name to it, but apparently not. That is it for my greens. That's not going to take very long, is it? See, this is what I love about the roses, is they reactivate so easily. Look at, and you get such a lot of pigment. Okay, let's get these blues done. We'll start with this royal blue, which I love the colour. I say it every time, but it's just really hard to Lift. This one's a Roman Szmal, but I've also got it with some of the Rosas are the same, and I don't know if it's what they mix it with, but it is a lovely colour. I just struggle to get it on the brush sometimes. And then we've got the Phthalo Blue green shade. This is amazing, love this one. And then the indigo. Somebody pointed out to me the other week is like the green shade one. They have got a different one, but that's okay because my indigo that is the Rosa Gallery one is the blue shade, so that's okay. And I am putting this shadow grey here at the moment. I might not put it in there in the palette, but I do feel like this is more of a blue. That is probably where I'll use it. And then where are you? Cobalt blue over here. I've used so much of this one. This is the palette I used for my 100-day challenge, so it's had a bit of a battering. It's a nice blue. And the ultramarine as well. Then Rosa Gallery indigo. And the violet. Now I feel like I might have another blue somewhere, but all of these darks look very similar. I wasn't really sure where to put the violet, but I've decided to go with blue. And then I've got these two Holbeins. So this one is Compose Blue W096, and I've got their Ultramarine Deep, which is W094. I really like these Holbein watercolours. I can't wait to get some palettes, little pans to put them in rather. And this one. I think I can tell the lights, the cools and the warms in the blues, but those greens I've really struggled with. Okay, let's do these. I've put the orange in the reds, but I don't know why. I just couldn't think where else to put it. So we've got cadmium red light. These are drying out a little bit. Might have to respray them. Madder red. Just writing these out, I can tell you I've got a lot of sort of pinks, less reds. This one's just called Bright Red. I always muddle up my carmine and my rose. This one I think is carmine, and this one is the opera rose. And I have got Naples blush. Again, I wasn't really sure where to put this one. I always feel like it would be better with the yellows, but Where would you put it? And what was the other one? Orange, which definitely doesn't belong here. I don't like this colour at all. It's just, anyway, I've got it, so I will use it, but it's not, definitely not my favourite. So cadmium orange, and then I've got the Roman Szmal Quin Red, and the Potts Pink. And then the whole line. Opera W013. I have previously talked about what pigments are in things. I haven't done that this time. I maybe could or should. I'll see how time goes today. Oh wow, look at that one. That is just a different, look at the difference between those two. Okay. Oh, didn't put my cap at Morton in. Don't know if that would go there or with the browns, but we'll put it here for now. That's a Rosa Gallery one. I do tend to use it more as a brown than as a red, but put it there for now. That is all of them, isn't it? Yes. Okay, next page. I think I might have, I'm not sure here if I might have duplicates, so I'm just going to go with what I think. So this one I think is the umber. Which is a bit of a disappointing colour. Then sepia. And the neutral black. And then I've got burnt sienna on this palette here. And there's two other colours which I think are a duplicate of the sepia. That is the same or is that different? I think that's the same. And another one which I think is another neutral black. Correct. What's this one over here then? Oh, don't know what this is. It's obviously something I've stuck in that palette. But I don't know what it is. It's not on the... It's not on my swatch, my big swatch card. I mean, it kind of looks like a Prussian blue, but I couldn't tell you where it's from. And it's a half pan that I've snuck in this palette. I might have to go back and watch some videos. Okay. Then we've got this neutral tint, Winsor Newton, which doesn't really want to open. There we go. It's probably going to explode because I've just given it a squeeze. Like that. That's got kind of almost like a bluey purple to it. I'm not sure if that's coming across. And the burnt sienna. definitely got some duplicates then, so I might take them out and put them to one side just so that I don't get confused. That is the problem with these ready-made sort of palettes like these. Ready-made, you know, like the sets. If you buy more than one, you often end up with duplicates. So I don't think that in the future I will buy sets. I think I will just buy the colours that I want. Wish I knew what brand that was. But I don't know. I don't think it's not a Winsor Newton because they always got like it written on the pan. These have all had a little clean up and I've washed the palettes. I'll leave them to dry a little bit before we make them up, and I do need to go away and quickly order some little half pans for these, so I'll do that now. I'm going to go and do a bit of gardening and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, they've all had a clean and the pans have been cleaned. Well, I thought they had. I tell you what, that orange gets everywhere. I think that's maybe why I don't like it, because I just can't get it off. Just see if I can give this a clean. Otherwise we're just going in, it's just going to be reassembled with the orange there. Yep, I think it is. I just can't get it off. Right. So we need to decide what order we're going to put these in. I think I'd quite like to keep one pan empty. Might do this one. To put my spares in. That one there. And use for when I'm changing things in and out. I'm going to try and keep the yellows separate because they get filthy. So let's do the yellows first. Can you see me? Yes, you can. Right. So we're going to go with my lemon yellow light first because that's my light one. Then the Rosa Cadmium, then the Roman Szmal Hamza yellow medium. Then I was going to go with the Queen Golds. Actually, let's put the ochre in. That could go. I just got the one. I was going to go ochre, and the raw sienna is going to go in once I get the half pan. I've just ordered those, by the way. And the Queen Gold will go as a half pan as well, so they could go there and there. I think I'm overthinking this. I mean, I am overthinking it. I will put that one there. And the Queen Gold there. Just that'll be tomorrow or later in the week job because I don't have any half pans to go in there. So that was the cadmium red light. That's the bright red. Might put the orange here. Then the madder red, although that's more of a, oh, let's go in there. And then we've got our pinks. That one is the carmine. Might keep the opera to go with the other opera, maybe. That one is the Quin red. Potter's Pink. I think the Caput Mortuum's going to go with my neutrals and earths because that's where I use it. And then I need some space for that one's going to go there. Is that all of them? Greens to blues. Let's go greens to blues. That one, I'm going to look this up because I don't think it's just called green. I will look, try and work out what green that is. Emerald, and then the other one, which again I need to just double check what green that is. Then the mint, and the cobalt turquoise. Then I'm going to go with the royal blue and the cobalt blue. I'm going to leave some space there for the half pan of the Compose Blue. The Phthalo Green shade, Ultramarine, half pan Ultramarine Deep, then that one which looks like a Prussian but I actually don't know what it is. Indigo green, indigo, no that's the moon beam thing, moon, it's not moon, I'll remember that one in a minute. These aren't all going to fit, are they? Can't fit anything in there. Can you fit half pans in there? No. The violet's going to go in here, but he's going to go right at the end there. I think they're going to have to go in here, aren't they? I could squeeze them in the other ones, but I just don't know that that's what I want to do. Okay, so then we're going to go with burnt sienna. Yeah, burnt sienna. Half pan of burnt sienna there. Caput Mortuum. Sepia. No, that's the umber, I think. Then the sepia. Sepia, how do you say it? Neutral black. I need to decide whether this one, which is the shadow grey, and I've also got the half pan of this neutral tint. So those ones will go there and there. Okie dokie. It's a bit later. I did go and do a few hours of gardening. I now have sore thumbs, but that's okay. We've got these redrawn out. I've had to do them again because I clearly detail. It's not my strength, is it? So we're going to fill these in, let them dry, and then I'll laminate them. And then we're going to have a beautiful little set of colours, aren't we? Okay, so what I need to do is let them all dry thoroughly. Then I can get them laminated. So that will probably be a job for Tuesday, I reckon. Maybe later. You can't see them all, can you? There we go. Looking good though. Really pleased with them. Let me just move you a little bit. There you go. Right, I will catch you later. See you in a bit. It is some time later. These have dried and I have laminated them. Ta-da! They're looking quite good. Don't look at the back. It didn't seal brilliantly around all of it, and I don't know if it was just because the paper is too thick, or which is more likely the case, I was impatient and put it through the machine before it was hot enough. So I am going to cut them, but I'll just be careful not to go too close to the edge. There we go. Here is that one. And the colours, I was a bit worried that the colours wouldn't come out. Oh, poop. It's too big. Oh, man. I mean, if it's going to be... I'll have to come up with another plan. I'm not shrinking it. Can't do it again. It's taken me too long. Let's just see how much of the edge I can trim off. Nothing goes straight forward, does it? Nothing straightforward. Right, well, I'll have to come up with another plan because it's not going to be sealed at all, but it's in. Okay. So all we need to do now is tomorrow, when my pans come, I will put these in, and then we'll have a whole beautiful new set of palettes. That's okay. I'm going to see you. It probably won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be Tuesday morning because I'm at work tomorrow, unless I'm on I don't know what time I finish. It won't be tomorrow. It will be Tuesday, and then we can wind up the video. Sorry, I think this has taken as long as doing a painting. But it's been fun. Right, I need to do my video of the day, my short. Now I've got a beautiful palette, I'm going to mess them up. I'll see you Tuesday. You've got to love this British weather. It's only 2 days later. Sorry, hello. It's only 2 days later. It's Tuesday. And it's miserable and freezing outside. So it's raining, windy and cold and very dark, which probably won't pick up on here because for some reason this camera makes everything crazy light. So my Lego pieces have come. Sorry, so we're finishing off these palettes today, these watercolour palettes, and I needed some pans. You know that it's only been seconds for you. You don't have to know all that, but they've come. I don't think I needed as many as I ordered because they only seem to come in packs of like 40, so I now have 40 half pans and I need 7. But that's fine, it will do me for the rest of my life, I'm sure. They're actually not bad quality, they're just Amazon ones. I would say I'd leave them linked below. I don't know how to do that. I'm just wondering whether I should write on them what they are, so I'll grab a Sharpie and or a Posca or something and we'll write them on. I've even had to have the heater back on in here, which is just stupid. W013, sorry, you don't need to watch this. Okay, that hopefully will stop me getting myself in the same situation I did with that other pan that I have no idea what it is. And if I went back and watched some old videos, I'm sure I could discover it. But I quite like the element of mystery. What else was I going to say to you? I found out the green, you know, the one that I thought was just called green, and I was like, oh, it can't possibly just be called green. So I went through and tried to find the one that it could be called, and we renamed it Jade Green. It's not, it's just called green. I found the set, I don't know, I didn't do this before, but I looked at the palette online and found out what it's called. It's called green, and I think its number is 711. Lessons learned. Right, let's turn you around. We'll get these palettes in and then finish up this video, because I'm sure you've had enough of me tidying up and sorting this out. Well, some of those paints came out a lot easier than others, but I'm not surprised because I've had some of them for quite a long while. But you can see here, I don't know, I actually don't know if you can see, but this one here looks quite kind of like gloopy and like sticky poo, whereas these nice ones down the bottom here, the Holbein one, is just like silky. But they'll all be fine once I've got a bit of water on them. So I'm really pleased. I'm kind of sorry I made you sit through this, but I'm really pleased I did the activity and I've sorted them out, because I feel like it's going to really help me when it comes to doing my paintings, because I won't be going through all my palettes and missing the things that I want. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. I think if I was going out plein air all the time, then it wouldn't have made sense to do this, but I'm not. We saw last week I'm not, and I think if I am going to go out plein air, I might, well, I can just lift out the pans that I want, which is quite an easy solution, but I also might just take something different. I might just go with dry mediums, because I think that would be easier, like you have less stuff to take. But anyway, we're going off on a tangent again. But I do feel like I've got a really good set of colours. Having laid them all out, I think I could do with one more cool yellow, because I've got quite a lot of warm yellows. Look at me, I've learned something by doing this. So I think another cool yellow would work. I think my green selection is fine. I'm happy with that, as is my blues. I've got quite a good mixture of cool and warm blues. Red wise, I think mostly they're warm reds, so I could maybe do with another cool, but I've got a cool red, so I think I have it. Look at that, tell me what you think. Don't. I feel like I've got it right in my head. So, and I so nearly bought some more yesterday. I was very restrained. But on Jackson's, on their clearance, they're getting rid of the 2025, what's the word, like limited series of Roman Szmal. So they had 3 different things on there, and they're quite good value, but I don't need them. And I looked at the colours and I was like, actually I've got some of those colours, so I didn't. So I think you'll need to give me a big thumbs up for refraining from spending money I didn't need to spend. I am holding out for the gouaches to go on sale, the Holbein ones. So I am sorry we didn't do any proper painting today, but that's probably a bit of light relief for you. And this was a job I needed to do, and you were my body doubles to doing it, because I've been putting it off a long while. So having you body double with me has made me do it. So thank you very much. I hope the sun is shining by the time you start watching this, because today's grim. One exciting thing I'm doing today, I'm meeting with a company, well not company, I'm meeting with a lady today who, I don't know if she, anyway, I'm getting muddled. I am meeting with somebody today who can digitalise and print my artwork. So I don't know if you remember when I finished my Swan, I had a couple of people asking if they could buy it, and I kind of want to keep the original, so I thought I'd go and have a look at the option of getting it digitalised and printed. I'm a bit nervous it's going to be really expensive and out of my price range, but if I don't go and meet the lady I won't know, will I? So I'm going to do that in a minute. I must remember to take the artwork, although it is raining, so I might not, because even though I've got it in a case, I don't really want it to get damp. If you've enjoyed watching me sort out my paints, please do give me a thumbs up. We are really getting close to the 1,000 now. I reckon in a couple of months we might be there, which would be exciting because that was my end of year goal. So that would be really cool to get there beforehand. So if you're watching and you don't subscribe and you can bear to watch me again, please do subscribe. That would be great. We are still a long way off the, that mythical thing of being monetized because of the watch hours, but that wasn't really one of my goals. The other thing that I will ask, because I ask every week, but if you have got any comments for me, if you can spot more warms and cools than I have spotted, please let me know. I was recommended a book by one of you the other week, and I'm keeping an eye out for that to find it cheap somewhere secondhand, because I think that will help with my knowledge. I'm sorry, I'm going to look up and see who it was that asked me or recommended it. Okay, so Lisa A wasn't the lady with the book, but you have helped me with some of the working out my cools and my warms. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm going to butcher this. Atelier the Hun? Is that how you say it? I probably should have checked that before I tried to say it. But yes, you recommended Ian Sidaway's The Colour Mixing Bible. So I am going to, well, I have been looking for that. I'm waiting for a cheap one to come up on eBay or somewhere, because it's one of those books that apparently is quite old, so I probably can find it somewhere. I'm a cheapo, so I am waiting to find it for a bargain price, which hopefully I will soon. What is going on with my bubble? It's a bit drunk today. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and hopefully not gasp at the price of getting some artwork digitalised. But either way, at least I'll know, and then I can move on with my life. And I want you to have a lovely week, and I will see you soon. Bye.